Hello everybody, this is a video for if you're going on an out-of-state hunt or a hunt where you're really far out from anywhere and you can't get your skin properly cared for. You can't get it in a freezer, you can't get it salted down. So we're going to show you how to do this. This is for more of the guys that are, stone sheep hunting, Dall sheep hunting. Try and get this as good as you can so that your trophy is good and it's not going to rot out on you or go bad. So this is where you're going to skin it out. This is a white-tailed deer, but the same thing applies for stone sheep, elk, mountain goats, anything under the sun. This is just a basic care video, so if you're at base camp and you have access to salt, this is what you want to do to make sure that your skin is good. Sooner you get it salted down, the better, or the sooner you get it frozen, the better. So here's what we're going to do. First thing, let's start off with the eyes. Now this is borax. You're not going to have access to borax. This is just for my personal use. It gives me a grip on the skins. So let's start here. I got a scalpel. All you need is a scalpel to do this. We're going to split the eyes right here. And here's what we do. We grab our eye, stick our finger in there, and you'll feel where the lid is and push against it. And you just want to kind of cut down into it. You just want to kind of work it until you get to the follicles. It's very important you split the eye. Very, very important, so that salt can get in there. So that's what you want it to look like right there. If the camera focuses, that's what you want it to look like right there. You can see the follicles and all that. And then we'll do the underside too. There is no rush. Just take your time and do it the right way so that it's going to turn out good for your taxidermist, which hopefully your taxidermist is me. You're going to get a fantastic mount back. Don't do what I just did right there. I just cut off extra skin. Don't do that. Give me as much skin as you can. But this is just for this is a customer cape that I'm going to throw in the pickle here soon. So we've got those eyes done. Now let's move on to the nose and the lips. Ideally, I did not skin this out, so you want to give me as much tucking skin as possible. Again, I'm just putting borax for my own use. Grab your lip line, and you can feel the end of it. Just work it down. Don't go too far. You'll feel when you're not far enough. And you want to do the whole thing. Again, you don't need some fancy smancy knife. All you need is a scalpel with size 22 blades. If you're one of my customers and you're going on one of these big trips, email me and I'll help you out as to what you need to order. Or I'll even send it to you for nothing, just so you have a good mount coming back and your skin's taken care of. So that top lip is done. Working the side lip. Now it's the bottom lip. If you've got something like a moose and they have the bell and clapper would be here on it. Split that open. Cut it straight up the middle, one clean line, and cut it open. It's just gonna look like this on the inside. Cut it open, spread it open, so that you can get salt in there. I will sew that up. It's not a problem. But if you don't split it, all the hair is going to fall out. Again, if you can get this skin to a freezer within 24, 48 hours, don't do this. But if you're in British Columbia and you're about a week away from getting this to a freezer, please do this. I don't want your stone sheep to rot, or your Dall sheep, or your bighorn, etc., etc. I want you to have a nice mount coming back. We're just splitting the lower lip. We're just barely cutting under it, and then we're opening him up. Now you'll feel it and see it. You can see right here that he's not 100% all the way, but you see how there's like 1/8 of an inch? That's acceptable. That'll be okay. I'd rather it be 1/8 of an inch and me mess with it a little bit than you cut it up open and it's harder to mount. So you can see it's just about there. This is acceptable for me. I'll take care of the rest. Now on this lower jaw of almost every animal, you're going to have a lot of meat down here. You want to cut it off, shave it off. It's going to be a little bit more than you expect, especially on an elk. These things are a lot. No, I just cut a little too far there. I cut into the follicles. Now this is a white-tailed deer, but this will apply to all the other species. It's all going to look the same for the most part. Now, if you got a bear, don't worry about splitting the nose and going crazy with that, because I use reproduction noses. There's no worries there. Unless you shoot a humongous bear, then it might be a little tough to find a nose, but I will make it work and it will be fine. Don't worry. Now on to the nose. Different species will look different. I need at least a 1/2 inch of tucking skin. So here's the nose. I need at least a 1/2 inch of the skin inside the nose to tuck and work with and blend it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a cut on both sides of the septum. All right, that's one side. Now let's cut down to the other side. Now this is where things get a little hairy. So now that you open it up, now let's split it. Let's open even more. And you can always reference it back. You can always flip it in and out, and you can feel it if you're not there. Almost all animals have one of these little gland spots right here. So it's back in there. And right in here is the hole for that gland. It's like a scent gland. Right in here. See that? Now, that's what that hole is right there. That little opening we did, that little cave. This is going to open up more than you think. Now, if you're in the back country and you got a blade and you need a surface to work on, find a rock, find a piece of wood, a water bottle, whatever you got, and just kind of use it as your fleshing beam and be very, very careful. You will feel if it's too thick. some of this meat will salt through. So like, if you're back in there and you have this stuff going on, now watch, it'll salt through. It'll be all right. Nothing to worry about, nothing to fret about. That will salt through. However, something like this, I wouldn't risk it. So you're just going to take your blade and just work it down. Now you can see how we got it, how it's very level and flat. I'll touch up this side a little bit. See how that's like that? And then when you turn it inside out, if you did turn it inside out, you can almost stick your finger through and it's almost completely flat. That's how you know you turned it inside out. See that? Goes inside itself. And now we're just going to cut off a little bit extra of this meat. This would be on the inside of the nostril. And now we'll shave this down. And if you continue watching, we'll go all the way for taxidermy purposes. Then we'll do the other side. Usually if you're going to be doing this, stick your hand in there, stick a twig in there, whatever you got to work with, a trekking pole to use it as a little thing there. So you just kind of feel where the edge and the corner of your nostril is and kind of put your finger underneath and push up and you'll feel where you need to cut. You'll feel it. Always stay on the right side of it. That way if you cut too much, you're not going to cut up your nose. And this is just a little too much meat than you want. You're just going to take your little scalpel, knife, whatever you got. Your guide should have a scalpel with him. Outfitter should have a scalpel with him. Cut off all that meat. And if you can, if you got a little too much meat like there on the lip skin, cut that off. It's not the end of the world if you leave some of it on, but you want to take the majority of it off. Alright, I showed you one eye. Now, on the tear duct, right here, all animals will have it, sheep, moose, deer, elk, whichever. You'll see this line right in here. See that white line? Now you just want to cut on the left and on the right. See that? Now you've left that by itself. You just want to shave it just a little bit. It's kind of like peeling a potato. Just don't go too far. Now on the eye, once you separated that, cut it on up. Up and out. Up and out. And now that you split that eye, you can be sure you're not going to cut your eyelid like that because it's flat. See, this whole system, before you split the eye, it used to be right here. Now that you split the eye, you got a nice, smooth, level surface. And that's that there. You're going to do that all around the eye. It's not going to have a whole lot on the front of the eye, but on the top and back of the eye it will. So that's all we're doing. We're just fleshing around the eye. The front of the eye will need just a little bit. Alright, so this is just about acceptable. Now I'm going overboard there. But you should be able to see, just start to see the eyelid, or the eye whisker butts. Same thing there. Now, on to the ears. let's start on that. Here's what your ears are gonna look like right here. See how you got the ear butt there? Use some sort of tool to stick inside here, inside your ears. Flip it upside down. Use gravity with you. Now, right here, same on every single animal that you'll ever hunt. You just kind of want to separate the meat from the skin and just work your way down. And just kind of keep tension on the skin and pull away as you're doing this. Separate the meat from the skin. That'll be easier on you. This is a pair of ear openers from Mackenzie. And I'm just going to take this and kind of put some tension on the skin and work my way down. Work my way down. Work my way down. Now I'm just separating that little bit of tissue between the ear and the ear skin and the cartilage. This has to be done. Ears absolutely have to be turned. Do not skip this step. You're just going to work it your way down all the way to the tip of the ear. And get as close as you can to the tip. Let me move this just a little bit so you might be able to see better. Maybe that'll work. So we're just using tension to put up there against the ear. Just working our way down little by little. If you keep putting tension on the skin, you'll see where you need to cut. I should have moved that to begin with. Maybe this will be better for you guys to see. So we're just working our way down, working our way down. You can see when you put tension on the skin where you need to cut. Same thing right here. Don't cut the ear skin, please. And you're just going to keep doing this all the way till you get to the tip of the ear. And you want to ideally wear gloves. You don't want to create a lot of heat on the ear skin. It is a very finicky, very heat prone, very slip prone area. So the less heat that you have on the ears, the better. And you want them to cool down. Especially if you're in Mexico and you get a desert bighorn. It's already hot down there. You don't want it to slip any more than it will. Or if you're in Colorado in the warm, hot day. So I'm just kind of working this down a little bit, little by little. If you got fingernails, great, that'll work too. I don't have fingernails. So you're just gonna kind of work and pull, work and pull. Now I'm cheating. I'm using a pair of ear openers. You guys probably won't have that luxury. You'll have to use your trekking poles or something, or you'll just have to keep working away at it. If you think it's too hot, it is too hot. So step away, let it cool down, work on the other ear, and then continue on. Now right here, cut all this off. Cut all the meat off. You don't need that. You don't want that. You want something, you don't want to give the flies a reason to come around. So cut that out. Get all of the meat off. There's no reason not to have any meat on it. Meat will bring rot, bacteria. No meat, no rot. Now this is what I do for a living. You will not be that fast. You don't need to be that fast. You need to do it the right way and do it well. So now that we've got it closer, a closer view, let me see if I can get you guys a better shot of doing these eyes again. I'm cheating. I'm using borax just a little bit to get a grip. You guys won't have that option. So we are just sticking our finger in its eye. We're going to feel for that bump of the lid. We're just going to work our way in there a little bit. Now we can see that's our lid right there. You guys see that? You'll start to see the yellow eyelash butts. Then you'll want to stop. Just make sure you go all the way from back to front. We'll flip this skin over. And let's do this side. Just take your time. That's all you need to do, is just take your time. You want to have a nice, beautiful mount, not give me or the other taxidermist a hard time and trouble doing this. All right, now that that's done, find our tear duct. It's right here. Big hard thing, can't miss it. Cut to the left, ever so slightly. Cut to the right, ever so slightly. Now, we'll just shave down this hard spot a little bit. Just a little bit, don't go deep. Now we're just gonna cut this off. Sorry guys, I should have brought you closer to the view earlier. That's my fault. Hopefully you got to see the first part. And we're just cutting, we're not cutting down, we're just skating across. Almost horizontal, but in a little bit. That way we're cutting the meat off. Back of the eye, same thing, being careful. Take a look over your skin, make sure you don't have any thorns, cockle burrs, anything that's large clumps of dirt or mud that's gonna make your blade bounce and put a hole in the skin, because if you got a bunch of junk under the skin, when you go to flesh it, it's gonna bounce and cause a hole. Got this in our fleshing beam. We're just fleshing it like this. Now onto the nose. You guys saw me split and turn the nostril. This is where it gets finicky. Just go ever so slightly. Thinning this. There's a good chunks of meat that come off of this nose that has to be taken off. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to take it off. Don't take shortcuts. Now look at this. Look how much meat we got off of that. Salt's not going to penetrate that. It might, but do you really want to risk your $100,000 sheep hunt or your elk hunt just because you're being lazy? This is what I do for all my capes in the shop. You can see how you almost see nothing, no meat. Just go slow. I'm fast because I do this for a living. Just a little at a time, no rush. This is if you're going back to a base camp and you're a couple of days from a freezer or someone who can salt this and it needs to be salted, get to your base camp, get it salted right away, let it hang up. Hang it up in a tree. Don't let the skin touch each other's skin. Just put it skin side out, salt side out, and let it hang out. And then go back. If you do that in the morning, go back in the evening, shake it, resalt it, get more salt on there. Do it 3 or 4 times to be safe. Now, right here, this meat, take your blade, get all that meat off. See this right here? Not a big deal, but this stuff, yeah, cut that off. You want to make sure your skin is very cool, very dry. You don't want it to air dry like a trapper skin, like they do for the auctions. I'm saying don't let it get snow or rain on it. Moisture breeds bacteria. We don't want that. Switch to the fillet knife. This is meant to be informative, educational for if you're going on a hunt and you can't get your skin to a freezer or to me within a day or 2 and you want to play it safe. That's what you should do. So that's what your skin should look like when it's fleshed. You're going to salt it down. And let me show you an example. Here's salt. Rub it in. Get every nook, cranny, crevice. Every little spot. Do not let it fold over like this. It's not going to be salted. Do it like that. All the way to the edge. All the way to the edge. Then once you've done that, then you can hang it up. Make sure that the grizzly bears can't get it. Make sure the coyotes, bobcats, whatever else is out there, wolves, make sure that they can't get it. This is kind of a cape that whoever skinned it out, they left a lot of meat on. They didn't skin it too clean. Do not worry about taking the ear cartilage out. That's a me thing. Just leave it in there and I'll take care of it. And look, if you can't get it with a knife, you can pry it with your fingers just like that. See that? Don't go too far, but you can pinch it and pull it a little bit here and there. This is just an example. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you guys right here. I'm just going to give you an example of what you want to be doing. So we went over the eyes, which was quick. Went over the ears, which was quick. Let's see. We'll do this other ear closer to you so you guys can see it. Went over the nose. Went over the lip line. All right, let's do this. Ideally, you guys know that you want a clean skin, no meat anywhere. So I'm not going to bother doing this whole cape so you can see it. And don't let it dry out like that. This guy shot it and let it hang in his garage. Now it's going to be dry, and I can't. It's going to be a lot harder to rehydrate it and fix that. If this is on your cape, you didn't put salt there. If it was salted, it wouldn't be like that. So this is not salted, which is a danger zone. We don't know if that hide is dry and the hair's locked in like on a trapper skin, or if it's dry and it's got bacteria in it. So let's do this other ear for you. Let's show you the lip line first. So we've got that. We got our lips laid out across a flat, smooth surface. And we're just gonna work it down. Work it down. No meat. Just ever so gently and ever so careful. See this white, yellow stuff right here? That's the lip line. That's what we're looking at right there. We can probably cut just a little bit of this out too. Be careful, because you'll do what I did there. Now, it's not a big deal because we got a little bit of tucking skin, but if it would have been lower, we'd have been in trouble. And it would have been more work for me. And your mount wouldn't be as nice. You guys can see what we're doing there. Got the nose. It's also important to get the back of the nose too. So this area right in here, get that. Thin it. You can leave me with as much nose skin as you want. But when you stick your fingers in there, in the nose, you'll be able to feel how thick it is. And if you need to get meat off of there. Me, in the shop, I use a fleshing beam because I've done thousands of these things. So I know what to feel for just by my blade, but you guys won't. So stick your finger in there. Just don't cut it. I'm not liable for that. But you can see, now it's a lot thinner than what we were dealing with. Salt will penetrate a lot better through there. And take your blade, cut up around there. See how that looks even nicer there? Let's do this other ear. Then we'll end this video pretty soon. Wasn't too long, was it, guys? So this is just the tagging system I've got. You'll just pull it over like that, and you'll just slowly work your way down. Use a stick, use whatever you got to stick in there to hold the ear up. Makes it easier. Just be careful you don't rip the ear hairs out on the inside. You can see where the skin separates from the cartilage. That's all you're gonna do, all the way down. You're just going to kind of peel it down, peel it down. Skin, cartilage, in between. That's all you're doing. Just working it down. Working it down. Until you get to the end. Which is, this is what you want the ear to end up looking like. Now I could just work my finger in there, but I don't have a fingernail, so I'm going to use the butt of my scalpel. Try and work that out. That's what you should be looking at. So once theoretically this is all split, turned, and salted like I showed you guys, get a bunch of salt, rub it in. Don't lay it on top. Don't just dump salt on top and let it lay. It needs to drain. Hang it up and let the water and blood drip out of it. Don't throw it in a pile. Don't throw it in a pile. Hang it up, ideally, if you can. Let it drip dry. Come back later in a couple hours. Resalt it. Salt is like vitamin C. The skin can only absorb as much as it's touching. So if you dump salt on there, it's not going to do anything. Rub it in. Get as much as you can in there. Hang it up. Then, a few hours, come back, resalt it. And then, come back again in a few hours, resalt it. And then you'll be good to go. So hopefully this helps you on your out-of-state hunt, out-of-country hunt. This just gives you an idea. I'm not going to do this whole thing in front of you. I'm not going to flesh this whole thing. I just wanted to show you the techniques and the way to do this. And this is a tricky thing. Always watch in front of the front legs. They always have this vein in there that needs to go. But you've seen how to flesh, how to split, how to turn, and that's all you need to do to finish a cape of a whatever animal you're getting. You know, take your skin, hold it down, grab the meat, hold it up, put some tension on it. Easy as pie. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck this season.